Good morning, welcome to Morning Review. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday, the 30th of November. Okay, so let's take a look at the markets. We'll start off with the euro dollar. And, well, euro yesterday, initially I was looking at some bearish signals. It did eventually get a bit bearish, but ended up the day quite positive. And one thing that we haven't done for a long time is close above the daily 8. Now, it has actually closed above that daily 8 moving average. I'm wondering from here whether it can manage to continue to push up. It's not looking particularly great at the moment on this daily chart, but it has got the daily 21 above, and looking at the 4-hourly here, it's had a little retrace sitting back to the 4-hourly 8. I'm just wondering whether we will push on up. It's above its daily pivot. It's looking at the moment like it could push back. If it breaks the trend there, I would be looking the trend line across the highs here. If it breaks that side, I would be looking on the long side, maybe for yesterday's highs, but certainly the R1 up there. Now, downside, not particularly, although it's had this retrace here, not particularly keen on it today. Yesterday it did pretty much what I expected, but it did it after it retraced before and then sold off to the downside. I was looking for the break of the weekly pivot there, which it initially pulled through, rallied, then sold off again, and did the almost the previous day's lows there. Now, the fact that it didn't actually break the lows, it's leaving it slightly on the more bullish side. So at the moment, as I say, like to be on the bullish side, but really we're looking for a break of this trend to confirm that. Then we'll look at an entry from there. Cable. Let's just come off and look at the dailies first, and it's still stuck between. So it looks like stuck in this tightening range, which well, actually the actual intraday range has been pretty good over the last couple of days. Monday, Tuesday, it's a decent range. Yesterday it surprised us. We went long and for a target, and it just flew and continued moving for some way. Well, today at the moment it's more difficult to read, and I mean we've been basically trading in sort of tightish ranges. Again, though, looking down at the hourlies, I'm thinking more bullish than bearish at the moment. Sort of trend line going across here. If it can hold into the day again, it's sitting in its daily pivot. If it can break that daily pivot level, there's some decent targets to be headed for. Yesterday's highs, maybe even the daily R1. It may be a big ask, but it's a possibility. But I would certainly be looking for yesterday's highs for another move and see if we can eventually break through this upper trend line. Okay, that's pretty much the cable. Let's look at the dollar yen, and well, it's still more bullish than bearish at the moment. It's ended up yesterday pushing up higher. Today it's already started pushing up there, but at some point I'm sure it's going to roll. Yesterday I had drawn the trend lines on here. It broke the upside, broke the weekly pivot, and just carried on going pretty much during the afternoon. It looked at one stage in the morning session it was going to roll over. It just pushed on there, so it just broke that trend line I'd drawn in the morning and went really. Now, looking at it at the moment, it's consolidating here. There's probably a couple of trend lines you could be drawing on it to look at where it's going. It's still, for me, well, I'll draw the trend line that I'd be more interested in. I'm just looking from yesterday's highs through here. If it starts breaking this area and pushing up, I'd be looking at the long side on it. Back into yesterday's highs, maybe, certainly the R1 as targets, maybe further. Now, we've been looking for it to roll over. It didn't roll over yesterday from the earlier move. It rolled over later in the day, but if we see the other market strengthening, we could see this roll over. So if it breaks the lower trend here again, it's one of those that it's a bit of an if and all at the moment. And my preference, if it starts selling off, well, really, personally, although it breaks that trend line, I'd probably wait for it to get below that 60.50. It's a bit of a distance, but it's just a bit safer, and it's still got some decent targets, even to yesterday's lows. But the 200 wouldn't be a bad target from that. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar struggles to hold to things. It looked like yesterday it was into its daily 21, maybe just fractionally short then. It's certainly run into daily 21 today and just not holding too well, but it is. Yesterday, I mean, double bottoms in the end, or just actually broke previous day's bottom a little bit. Shorter time frame here, it's struggling somewhat. But again, you can draw the trend line across the highs, and a break of that would be more on the bullish side. Now, it has put an inverted head and shouldery type pattern in there, which we're in the early stages of the right shoulder, so that if it breaks, that could take us up at least to a neckline. And if it really gets a wiggle on, maybe this time we'll see a break of that daily 21 and push on beyond. Whoops, sorry, that's a 5-minute chart there. A push on upwards. Maybe to the R1 and beyond. It could actually, with the depth of that head, push up through the neckline probably to the middies there, up to that 75.22 area, maybe a bit further. I just don't trust it during the daytime though. Often it seems to work better in its own trading session. Okay, Canadian dollar. Now this is a big one today because we do have the OPEC meetings out or happening all day. It could seriously help the Canadian dollar. It could stifle it. Now we've seen, just look at this daily. I mean, it just tells you pretty much everything. It's a bit like cable at the moment. It's neither one way nor the other. The trend is certainly to the sideward direction within a range. Now we could see that range broken today with this data coming out, or this meeting happening, should I say. If any agreement's made, well, I think we may see a bit of a strengthening of the Canadian dollar, even if it's just on the short term. No agreement, and we'll probably see it selling off a bit. At the moment, looking, it's again, it's tight. There's a tight old range across here. Probably have to draw from down there, which is just playing with that trend line again at the moment. So it's erring at the moment. Well, lower highs would suggest a downside here, but we've got these higher lows which do mess things up. And for me, I'd be looking to, if it starts triggering and things start looking good, it may be a trade, but it may be better off waiting for this meeting, OPEC meeting, to happen. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. Now we have some data with the bank stress tests already out for the UK, so that's not really done too much. You can see the OPEC meetings all day. We've got ECB President speaking today at, what time is he speaking? At 12:30, due to speak future of Europe in the university. Well, that'll be interesting. But we may get some volatility around that at 12:30, but there's a lot of unknowns in there. 115, we've got the ADP non-farm rolls. Now we're seeing volatility around this figure again, so watch out for 115 across all the majors, the US back. Canadian GDP 130, barely ever moved, so that's pretty much it today in terms of the crude oil inventories coming at 330, I should say. The rest of the data is pretty low key. Right, have a great one. Bye for now.